Hello there, everybody. Today we will do a little two-mover again, and I think this is a pretty hard one because I didn't see the solution right away. It didn't really stand out. You need to do some thinking here. So, white to play and checkmate back in two moves. We have a pawn here going this direction, the black pawn in this direction, and it's also protecting these squares if we want to give a check or something like that. Anyway, now it's time for you to post a video and see if you can solve this on your own. Go ahead. Okay, welcome back. So, well, the king, moving the king doesn't give anything at all. We are not threatening anything. Black can move his rook somewhere. I don't know, put it here. There's no checkmate. Then there's no Zugzwang involved, so there's no point in moving the king. It's pretty good where it is, blocking these three squares from the black king. So we'll leave it there. This pawn here is that doing something? Well, all the pieces on the board in a puzzle, in a composed puzzle, should be doing something. So could we just push it? No, not really. Black plays perhaps e5. Now he can hide behind this pawn. This doesn't give anything extra. So this pawn is not here on the board to be pushed. It's there for another reason. And the question is, of course, why? We will see that soon. Okay, so what about the knight? What if we start with a check? And the king is then forced to f6. Will this be a checkmate? No, not really. Black can put the pawn in between, or he can play the king to f7. We're not going to checkmate there. And this is not checkmate either because we are allowing him to come to f7. And, well, from there he will just escape. So the knight really should be here to stop the black king from coming to f6. As we see now, the black king cannot move anywhere. We got it covered here. All of these squares are covered. But we only have one piece left to look at, and that is the queen. So the queen should be moved, which means if we move the queen, we will really allow the black king to move also, to get away. But we need to do that in order to win this in two moves. So here comes the correct move. This is how you have to start. Queen d4. And when we move here, we see that we're now actually threatening a checkmate here with a knight on g7. So the point of this queen move was to take over the control over these two squares in the full diagonal, so we can use the knight for other things. So if the rook moves somewhere, we're gonna get a checkmate here. Okay, but as we said, as we move the queen, we will let the black king go somewhere, and it opened up for the square on e6 to hide on. And now we see the point of this pawn, because we need control over d5, we need support there. So if black plays king e6, we can now play queen d5, and this is a checkmate. So what's left to look at is, can black cover this square? Yes, he can if he moves this pawn. So what happens if he moves the pawn two steps? Then he's covering the the g7 square by his rook. But if he puts his pawn on e5, now he's blocking his own way there, which means we can jump over to g4 with our queen, and this is a checkmate. The knight is still blocking the escape pawn on f6. And what if black moves the pawn only one step? Then this is not a checkmate because he will take it with the rook. But now that was the only escape path from the king. And we don't need the knight anymore because we don't need it on e8 anymore, I should say, because the queen is already covering here. Which means after black moves his pawn one step, then it opens up for the knight to d6 with a checkmate. So that's how you solve this. I think I covered all the possible moves. You have to start with queen d4 and then see what black does before you can win this little game. All right, thank you everybody for watching. See you again tomorrow. Bye bye.